Eat your heart out, guys. I'm Cannibal, and this is our very first urgent guide, and it's going to be for the giant Atomata. This is a really cool mission, and it's not too difficult. This guide is really just here to help you ensure your entire player party survives. The fight mostly takes place on a slow-moving platform, but the enemy actually has quite a few spamming attacks. No individual attack is strong on its own, but the combination of them all happening at once can catch you off guard and can definitely cart a few of your party members. So if you don't know what to target and when to target it, the battlefield can quickly become a minefield of attacks and traps and missiles and laser beams, and it can really catch you off guard. So we're just going to tell you what to attack, when to attack it, and how you can make this fight a breeze for you and your party. First off, I want to say that as good as a guide is, the best way to learn is by doing. And the good news is that you can actually farm this boss outside of the urgent quest. This boss is located at the end of a mission called Underground Shafts Exploration. To get to it, go to the quest counter, click Main Quests, Expeditions, and there it is. Now, it's not just the boss fight, so you do have to go through a little bit of mobs and you have to find your way there, but if you're just looking to farm this guy and practice the best strats for you and your character and your build, just run past everything, get straight to him, and enjoy. I will say that he is a lot weaker in this fight, so expect him to go down much more quickly than he would in the urgent quest. Now let's get into the real thing. As you start the quest, you'll see that lasers are fired above your head. Don't attack those lasers, but take note because we'll come back to them later. For now, go ahead and head around either the left or the right side of the body. On the side of the ship, you're going to see a few machine gun turrets and some rocket turrets. Now, if you were to head up top, those rocket turrets would actually move and begin firing up top on your position. So, to make it easy and to reduce spam when you're actually fighting the main boss, go ahead and take those out now. Once you climb the staircase and get on top, you'll see the open battlefield and the mech itself. That's our real target, but we've got some things we've got to handle first. Go ahead and look behind him. On either side, you'll see rows of rockets. These rocket pods will fire a ton of rockets at once. They'll target individual players on the map, and you'll constantly have to run and avoid them. Fortunately, it's going to show you a red circle letting you know where the impact is going to happen, but it's so much spam that this can really screw up your team. Imagine you're a ranger running a rocket launcher. Some of your moves are animation intensive, which means you might be stuck in an animation and not able to dodge by the time that rocket hits. Now, the rocket doesn't do a lot of damage on its own, but it can stun you and enable one of the mech's other attacks to potentially finish you off. Or if you're a force user, or just anybody that needs combos or time to charge their abilities, these can really get in the way and hamper your DPS, so we're going to go ahead and target these down first. Feel free to target them from range if you're using a ranged class. They go down pretty easy and you don't actually have to wait for them to open up and fire rockets to attack them. You can just damage away and they'll eventually die. If you're a melee user, you can actually jump up right on them. So don't feel like you have to leave this to the Force and the Rangers. You can get in there and do your part to destroy these quickly so your team has more time to deal with the actual threat. Once you have the missiles down, the field is already much safer. But we still have a few more rockets before we're in the clear. If you look at the mech, it's actually got 2 more rocket pods on the top of its head. Go ahead and kill those. This might be difficult for melee users because it's so high up, so don't feel the need to focus on those if you are playing a melee class and you don't have a jump or a ranged ability. Your Force and your Rangers can take these out easily. Alright, we've significantly lowered the amount of spam and damage that's going to be on the battlefield. We're only 1 or 2 minutes into the fight and the hard part is already over. So now let's talk about the mech itself. The mech is equipped with dual machine guns, 2 large arms, a laser cannon, electric orbs, and can actually spawn smaller mechs to help it out. That's a lot going on, but I promise, now that we took out those missiles, it's not going to be too difficult. Now it's really up to you what you focus on this part, but I have a few suggestions. First off, I like to go for the arms. The arms actually have two different attacks. They have a sweeping strike, which attacks horizontally across the field, and then a downward pound, which has lower area of effect, but actually deals good damage. So you want to make sure you're not going to get hit by that. Both of these attacks can be easily dodged by any class, and if you're a force, they should never hit you. If you're looking to take out the arms, focus on the opposite side of the elbow, so the upper portion. You'll see a few little ball bearings that you can actually attack, and the arms should go down relatively quickly. Just make sure you're actually hitting that point, otherwise your damage might be wasted. With no arms, the mech has to resort to using some of its worst, most spammy attacks. But we don't have to worry because we'll be able to take it out relatively quickly now. In the center, you'll see a circular portion. This is used for multiple attacks. First off, it can spawn more mechs. These little mech roly-polies don't actually do much damage, but if they make contact with you, it causes a stun effect, meaning you could get hit by another attack afterwards. Fortunately, we took away most of the spam capabilities, so they're not too dangerous at all anymore. Go ahead and kill the mech as it creates them, and then focus down the center. This same orb is actually used for another attack, the giant laser. This attack looks incredible, but is not dangerous at all. The windup is slow and it's easy to dodge. You should never be hit by this attack. There's no excuse. It attacks straight down the middle of the field and is extremely easy to just step away from. However, if you do get hit, be prepared to take a ton of damage. So don't be stupid, just step out of the way of the giant laser when you see it. As useless as that blue beam is, it's actually used for another attack. Now this attack is only used if the battle goes on too long. During the Urgent, I've never seen it used because it's taking so much damage that it never gets a chance. But while I was playing around in the practice mission, I waited around, wasn't doing much damage, and it actually performed this attack. The sweeping laser. Now this attack is dangerous, and if it uses it in your Urgent quest, there's only a few options you have. 1. Try to iframe through it. If you're force, this is easy. Just wait till it comes close to you, pull right trigger, and you'll slide right through it, taking no damage. However, if you're playing other classes that don't have as much iframes in their dodges, you're better off just jumping off the side of the ship while it passes by so you don't take damage. Don't be stupid. Do not let this attack hit you. It will do a lot of damage and it might cart you. Be smart and jump overboard. Once you focus down that center beam, it really only has one attack left. And it's going to spam it a lot. These are the electric orbs. It charges these up so you can prepare and get out of the way before they are actually fired. Keep that in mind because for some classes, they're not so easy to dodge once they're out. Again, the Force with its incredible iframes has no problems with this attack. Just phase right through it. Sometimes it'll shoot one, but it can shoot up to 3 of these in a row. You still don't have to worry because your Force can dodge them all, no problem. However, I also tried to dodge them on my Ranger with the iframe roll. As much as I tried, I was actually never able to roll through this attack. If you spec your Ranger to increase the invincibility frames during the roll, you might be able to do this. But I don't have that skill on my Ranger yet, so it never worked as much as I tried. A better option for those that don't have incredible iframe dodges is just to step to the side. Now the range on these is a little bit wider than it looks, about the distance that its arms were sitting at. But if you step to the far side, you should be okay. They only fire forward, and they have a wind-up time. So, while it's more difficult, it's definitely not impossible. And remember, this is his only attack now, so once you have the groove down of dodging this, you shouldn't have any trouble whatsoever. Now that he's in spam mode and using his electric orbs, go ahead and just focus down his center core. This is really all you've got to do. The fight's pretty much over. If you just focus this part of his body, he should go down quickly because of all the extra damage he's taken to get to this point. Once that's destroyed, you're done. You beat the urgent quest. Congratulations. And if you followed this guide correctly, hopefully you really helped your team out by getting rid of the spam that might have otherwise caused a few deaths. For those of you that are doubting this strategy and saying, I don't need to worry about the spam, I just want to run in and attack his core, that might be viable sometimes, especially if you're playing in a lower difficulty than what you should be. My suggestion there would be to go up a difficulty. Get to a point where you actually have to form a strategy in the game. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. And you're probably not gaining as much XP as you could be. However, if you're looking to help up some lower level party members, this strategy is still what you want to do. By taking out all the spam, you clear the battlefield and enable everyone to feel like they're doing more. Once you take out the missiles on the side, the turrets in the back, the missiles on his head, his arms, there's so little that can actually injure your allies. You don't have to worry about having to res people mid-fight, or having to pop potions, or relying on force users and techers and bouncers to heal you. Because the biggest threat that this boss has is just the sheer amount of things that can happen at the same time. When you're being attacked by missiles, and lasers, and little roly-poly robots are roaming around stunning you, it can add up to a lot. Again, he doesn't have any big, incredibly dangerous moves. It's just the multitude of them all together that makes this fight dangerous. Help out your team, use this strategy. Most importantly, get rid of those missiles. And if you do that, you should clear the mission with everyone alive and happy. I hope this guide was helpful, guys. It's my first ever true guide, and I really wanted to make it work for you, so I hope it helps. Go in and practice. Remember, you can actually do that quest to fight him, so you can be prepared for when the urgent finally does hit. If you have quests that you're struggling with, urgents or otherwise, go ahead and leave that in the comments down below. Tell me what you're struggling with, ask me any questions about this game, and if I don't have the information and I can't tell you the answers, I'll go find it and direct you to a place that can. I waited 7 years for this game to hit Xbox, and it's finally here. And all I want to do is help this community out so everyone can enjoy it as much as I do. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can also catch me and Memow co-op streaming this game on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays between 6 and 11 over on Mixer. And if you just want to hang out with us more, go ahead and find us on Twitter. We tweet out news and updates about Phantasy Star. I play a little Overwatch, so you might get some Overwatch content sprinkled in there. And you'll get to see more about our daily lives, our streaming setup, problems we're having, things we're enjoying, or just pictures of our cats. Anyway, if that interests you, go ahead and find us. The links are in the description. Eat your heart out, guys. I hope you have a great time, and I'll see you next time.
Emergency. Ears open.
Emergency. Code Q.